welcome to Light and Love, where we help you find the essence of you. Welcome back to another episode of Light and Love. This is season 2, episode 5. Isn't that crazy, guys? And like always, I'm super happy to be here. I will always say that, so always look forward to that tagline. I can't believe this is episode 5. I feel like it's been going super smoothly, so I just want to thank you guys for listening, and I hope that this is enriching your life of some sort. That is like my goal with this podcast, and I just want to say that every time I do like an episode or like I get new ideas for the podcast, I kind of want to just like cue you guys in on those ideas. So I wanted to do 8 episodes per season. I feel like that's a good amount of episodes per season. And this one really is about mindset, mindfulness, self-awareness, I guess, is what this season is really about. And I think next season, season 3, I wanted to do it on relationships, but I'm actually going to be moving into the direction of kind of going after your dreams in a different way. So I think I do a lot of courses on like Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. And I find that a lot of people talk about mindset last. And that brought me to this idea because I think mindset is so important. Understanding yourself is so important. You cannot jump into anything. You can't go after your dreams. You can't do anything until you understand yourself. And I've definitely learned that the hard and long way. Everyone learns at different paces. Like, we're all on our own journey. So I definitely want to emphasize that as well. But definitely mindset and self-awareness are 2 things that you have to get a hold of before you do anything. So going after your dreams, going after your purpose, anything you want to do in life, like I feel like to be successful, you really need to understand yourself, understand how you work. So that's why I'm going over a lot of mindset stuff in this season. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I really hope it gives you a head start on, following your dreams, whatever they may be. So that also brings me to this episode is actually going to be about success, purpose, and values. I know they're all very similar. They all relate to each other because all of those are all in the same family, and they really can take you where you need to go. And also I want to acknowledge that this episode is going to be the first episode for September, which is National Suicide Awareness Month. And so this month is like super near and dear to my heart. This cause is near and dear to my heart. And this episode, of course, is dedicated to my friend Alex Zonio. I talked about him last season, and it was really difficult for me. I can already feel myself getting worked up a little bit about it. But the episode 6 will actually be another real episode dedicated to him and something I learned specifically from him about mindset, because it will be his 1-year death anniversary on September 13th. So I just want to say that this episode is for him too. All the episodes this month, of course, are for him. And this one especially because it's September. It's going to be the first podcast of September, but because purpose is so important. And I wrote my notes, and I feel like I'm going to go a little bit out of order of my notes because the more I think about it, the more it just is going to go in a different order than how I wrote them. But purpose is so important. And the thing I want to say about purpose is you have to have it. You have to have a purpose in life. Purpose is what I think gives you a good life. It gives you a life worth living. And I think it's somewhat daunting to people, like, oh my God, what is my purpose? What am I meant to do? Or just, what is my purpose? I think people get so caught up that it's supposed to be this huge thing, like this, oh my God, an artist, or, Jalen, who was in last season, always looked at me and Tristan and Russ like, you guys have a purpose. You have what you're good at, and that's your purpose. Like, I don't have that. But I always tried to tell her that just because we have that doesn't necessarily mean that we have an advantage over you. What we have is an art form, and that's just something that we love doing. So I definitely think there is a difference, because what happens is I find a lot of people get purpose and work, life's work, a little bit mixed up. I don't think they necessarily have to intertwine. I don't think that you have to be working a job that is fulfilling your purpose. I think your purpose is so much deeper, so much bigger than that, that it can't just be about your job. Your life has to be about your purpose. So I think you can be fulfilling your purpose no matter where you're at in life, no matter what you're doing in life. You just have to figure out, what is your purpose in life. And so for me, I think I've found my purpose in life. Luckily, it's taken me some time. And for me, she used to always look at me like, you have makeup, you're so good at it, like that's what you do. But that was never my purpose. I didn't feel like that was a purpose. So that's why I always tried to reassure her that, like, just because I have that and like editing and like, like an artful sense, like a sense of artisticness. I don't know how to say that, but just because I'm artistic doesn't mean that that was my purpose. So for me, purpose is what I want to do in life. Like, what do I want to leave in this lifetime? Like, what do I want to leave other people with? Like, people I know, people I don't know. Like, how do I want to be remembered, pretty much? And I feel like it sounds so huge, but really, it doesn't have to be super crazy. Like, for me, I want people to remember that I was super positive. I radiated positivity, and I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to be nice to people, and I always wanted people to believe in themselves like I believed in them. So for me, like, I'm going to tell you what my purpose is, because I feel like it'll help kind of give you an example of what I think is purpose. So for me, my purpose is to help other people find their power. And that's by believing in themselves, teaching them how to make themselves feel good inside and out. When you feel good inside and out, you feel more powerful, you feel more confident, and I truly feel like that's my purpose in this life, is to always give that to other people. So that's what I do. That is the reason behind everything I do, with makeup, with my blog, with YouTube, with the podcast. I always just want to enrich other people's lives and really give them the wisdom, the knowledge of how to take their power back, because we all have like an innate power in us, and I don't think that we all believe that, but I know it's there inside everybody, and I always just want to help other people harness that for themselves. So that is my purpose, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I always want to be doing that for other people. So if I have a job or anything, just any time of my life, like, it doesn't have to be just at work or my work that does that. That's just the person I want to be for other people. So that's my purpose. And I think also your purpose is kind of your why. Like, why do you do things? What drives you to do what you do? Like, why do you do what you do? And who do you do it for? I think most of us, our purpose in this life that is fulfilling is always helping other people. So if you're at a point in your life where you're trying to help yourself, that's great. We all need to do that. We all have to help ourselves before we can help anyone else. Just like I said in the last episode about changing the world, you have to change yourself. But I think the most fulfillment for humans comes from helping other humans. So your purpose is always, I think, going to be seated in helping other people somehow, whether that's always being the person that they can talk to or laugh with. Like, these are such simple things, but they really make a difference in people's lives. People like that, help other people. That's helping other people. So that's already fulfilling a purpose, and you can do that at any time. So just kind of find out what makes you feel good. When you're doing something, helping other people, like, what part about it makes you feel good? Like, what do you want to give other people? I think that's a great place to start with purpose, because I truly think it is seated in helping other people, and that's also where mine is. But yes, so for purpose, I think You have to have that. If you don't have purpose, it's kind of like you're kind of lost your way in life. And that's what happened to my friend Zonio. Like sometimes I'll read his caption, his last caption on Instagram, and he talked about how he lived a good life, but life got really routine, boring almost in a way, because you're kind of just living. You're on autopilot. You're going to work, you're coming home, you're going to work, you're coming home. You know, like his work was his life's work. What he did for work, he was a policeman, he was in the army. He loved helping people, but I think he kind of forgot that that was his purpose. So when you kind of forget what your purpose is, or you don't know what your purpose is, I think it's really easy to get stuck on autopilot, and it's easy to get sad, honestly. Yeah, and it makes me so sad that he felt that way, because looking back on his life, he helped so many other people, and he was such a one-of-a-kind person that really impacted every single person who knew him, but he just didn't see that, and I think he forgot that's what he gave other people. So that's why I think purpose is so important. It's just the driving force behind our lives, and once you identify what that is, I feel like you can make the best of your life, and you can make the best of every situation, and just be an example of that for other people in life. So my next thing is, what are your values? So I think values are really important. I don't think I thought too much about this. You know, naturally I know like what I care about in life, and like right from wrong. Like obviously, you know, we know these things, ethics and stuff, but what do you value the most in your life? Like when you think of value, like you cherish something. So what is it that you value in life? And I think this is an important question, because also it kind of reminds you of what's important in life. And if you're doing so many things that don't align with your values, then it's time to reassess your life and what you're doing and how you're living, how you're thinking. So for me, values are, by definition, basic and fundamental beliefs that guide or motivate our attitudes or actions. So, you know, ethics and belief systems, and these guide how we act in life, what we do in life, you know, how we move in life. That's why they're so important. But I think sometimes we don't really actually think about what they are. Like I haven't listed my values ever. I don't think I have recently, actually. Like I've came to a point where I had to figure out like what's important in my life, and, you know, prioritize those things. So what do you believe in, and how does that drive you in life? So for me, I value family. Family is my number one value. And then happiness, being happy, is something I value so much. I think happiness can take you so far in life, so much farther than someone who is unhappy. And that will lead to success as well. And also kindness. I really value kindness and being kind to others, and having that as a value for myself really does lead how I treat other people. So it definitely is important to know what your values are, because those are what are driving your actions, and your actions are things you're doing daily, all the time. So definitely think about what's important to you, and think about, are you acting accordingly to what's important to you, you know? And I think sometimes we fall off track. Of course, it's natural. We're human. We get caught up in the drama, the hustle and bustle. Like we get caught up in life. But definitely make a list for yourself. And if you're feeling in a negative space or in a funk or something, take a look at that list to remind yourself how you want to act accordingly, who you want to be, who you are at your core. So definitely write down some values to keep you on track for how you're leading your life. And then this brings me to something that I think people talk about the most. It's like the most talked about thing on like inspiration and motivation and all that on social media and stuff, and that is success. And for a lot of people, this is like tricky, because there's so many rules in life, which are like fake rules, societal rules, family rules, so many things that we come to develop over time just by learning through our environment. It's just natural. That's just what happens. We pick up on our parents' beliefs, our close families' beliefs, and just like the people that are around us, we pick up on their beliefs and we start to believe them as well. But I think sometimes some people get to a point in their life where they're like, do I believe in this? You know, like, do I believe this because my family believes this, or does it actually resonate with me? So for success, I think you have to think about, okay, what is success through the world's lens? You know, money, cars, houses, you know, materialism. That is honestly through the world's lens. But I think we're shifting as consciousness, and that's leading us to success is happiness. And it's been a long time that we've believed success is materialism because we live in a capitalist country, and that's what we've been taught for generations at this point, pretty much, so centuries at this point. But the world is shifting, which makes me so happy because there's so much more to life than material things. And if you are always going after material things, you will never, ever be happy. You will never be satisfied because you always want things that are just things. So definitely let's shift what we think success is. Identify when you think about what is success, if you write it down, you have to be like, is this my thought or is this someone else's thought? Is this my thought or is this the world's thought? Is this my thought or is this my parents' thought? You know, you really have to identify, like, is this something I really believe, or is this something that I just kind of picked up on in my life? So I think that's really important to kind of write it down first, because you really need to get rid of that junk, that stuff that's not yours. You need to get rid of beliefs that aren't your own. So this is where you really develop your own belief system, which is really hard because some people can stay in a belief system that is not theirs their whole entire lives. It may sound crazy, but it is definitely possible, and people have been doing it for years. So that's why I'm telling you guys this, because I think it's really important to identify, is this yours or is this someone else's idea of success? So once you can kind of sift through that, then you can really find out what success is to you. And for you, if it's not getting married and getting a house and getting an executive job, like, these are things that you may not want. I don't know, but how I grew up, that's what I thought success was. So that's what I'm basing it off of. You can probably tell, like, my age, my generation through that alone. But now I know, I've come to learn that success is whatever makes you happy. So success isn't always an achievement. It's just a feeling like you did something you wanted to do, or even just tried to do something. So I think success is always linked to achievements, and that's not necessarily true. Success is also trying. That's very undervalued, undersaid, but again, success is not always achievement. It is the pure act of trying to achieve something. So don't get confused that achievement equals success, because just you going out and trying to do something is equally as successful. So definitely, please listen to me on that. Give yourself a break. Still have goals, still have intentions, but just understand that just the mere act of trying is success. I forgot the exact quote, but I definitely saw a quote on that, and I was like, wow, that is so true. There's levels to success, okay? But something is always better than nothing. So that is, figuring out what success is and then going after it. So also, for some people, it's hard because, of course, you want things. You want your family to be taken care of, you want a place to live, like we want these things because we need these things. But when you're trying to find what success means to you, you have to dig really deep. You have to take off a lot of layers, like I mentioned. And one of those is kind of, what would you do if you didn't have to worry about everything you're worrying about now? What would you do? So really think about it. Like, what would make you happy if you didn't have all these worries that you have now? What is it that would make you happy? And once you identify that, then you go after that, no matter what your circumstance is. You can go after anything you want, anytime you want. You just have to know what it is. And I think that's what stops a lot of people, is because you don't know what it is. You haven't taken the time to sit down and wonder what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much, and I think you can see how these all intertwine. I think understanding what success is, having a purpose, having your values drive your actions, all of these things are so important, and they really help you live a better life. Like, just having these things in the back of your mind and knowing what they are can change the direction of your life. I really believe that, because it really sets you on a path of where you want to go. Like, you have to identify these things for yourself. So this is why this is a mindset series, pretty much, because these are things that you have to think about before you do anything. And let me just tell you right now, age does not matter. Nothing matters. What matters is that you will take action after doing this. You will take inventory of what's in your mind. You'll take notes. You know what I mean? You'll take action, pretty much. You will try. What I'm saying is definitely take notes of what all of these things mean to you. What are they? What is your purpose? What are your values? And what is success to you? Once you get a hold of these things, it's going to take some time. It is going to take some time, because for me, it took pretty much a year and a half almost. Like, of course, I've been thinking about these things, trying to think about these things since 2019, 2018, but it's definitely taken me kind of a long time to figure it out, because I feel like I've lived under what other people expect and what the world expects, and just stuff like that. So it took a while to get to the core of me and figure myself out, but that's why I'm giving you guys this advice now. And also, I think this information is so important if you're going to go all out on your dreams, if you're going to try something new, if you want to start your own business, or if you just want to go after what you want in life. I don't think you'll be successful until you identify these things, because there are going to be so many roadblocks, you guys, so many ups and downs, highs and lows, like crazy. And if you don't have these things, if you don't know these things about yourself, then there is no drive, there is no why. So knowing these things are what's going to keep you going during the hard times in life, in business, in anything. So definitely think about that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Also, I wanted to I announced this on my personal Instagram, but this season is going to have 8 episodes, but I'm actually going to have 3 bonus episodes that me and Jalen filmed in, I think, end of 2019, early 2020, but it was just interviews with women that I was inspired by, that I know are very self-aware and very successful in their own lanes. So we did interviews with them, and I definitely want to share those interviews because I found them. So they won't have video, they'll just be bonus episodes on this season. So yeah, and if you want to stay in touch, then definitely follow us on Instagram at Light and Love Podcast, and that's for Facebook as well, and YouTube, and Twitter is Light and Love Po1, and my personal Instagram is at Sarah Souse. So that's SARAHSOWSE, and that is just my personal Instagram for all the other stuff I do. So if you want to hang out with me there, then go ahead and follow me, and I will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye! Thanks for listening. See you guys next week for another episode of Light and Love.